Good morning to everyone. This is the part 4 video in Nature of Substances from 7th class new science textbook. So in this video we will discuss some lab activities, reaction of acids with the metals, reaction of bases with the metals and reaction of calcium carbonate with the hydrochloric acid. So let us move on to the topic. So reaction of acids with the metal. What happens when a metal piece is dropped in an acid? If you drop a metal piece in an acid, it reacts with the acid and release hydrogen gas. So how can we prove that? So if we conduct one activity, we can prove that hydrogen gas is liberated during the reaction of the reaction of acids react with the metals. So what's the aim of this experiment? The aim of this experiment is acid react with the metals to produce hydrogen gas, and materials required for this experiment is a conical flask, hydrochloric acid and zinc pieces, incense stick and matchbox. And procedures: take a 5 grams of zinc metals pieces in a conical flask and pour 20 ml of hydrochloric acid into it. Now observe what happens. The zinc pieces react with the hydrochloric acid and produce hydrogen gas. So how can we identify this gas is a hydrogen gas? And produce hydrogen gas. So what are the materials required for this experiment? Conical flask, hydrochloric acid, zinc pieces and incense sticks and matchbox. So take few zinc metals into conical flask and add hydrochloric acid to zinc pieces. The zinc pieces reacted with the hydrochloric acid and produce hydrogen gas. Can we confirm produced gas is a hydrogen or not? For this we have to use glowing incense stick or burning matchstick. So whenever we keep the burning matchstick in the mouth of the conical flask, it will be put off with a pop sound. So this is a test for hydrogen gas. So hydrochloric acid react with the zinc metals, forms a zinc chloride and release hydrogen gas. So let us confirmation test for hydrogen gas. Now introduce a incense stick into the mouth of the conical flask. The flame of burning stick will put off with a pop sound. So this is a test for hydrogen gas. Hydrochloric acid react with the zinc metal and forms a zinc chloride and release hydrogen gas. The reaction can be written as a word equation: zinc plus hydrochloric acid produce zinc chloride and hydrogen gas. Conclusion: what we conclude? Hence, we can conclude that acids react with the metals and release hydrogen gas. How do now do this? Repeat the above experiment, but this time fix a balloon around the mouth of the conical flask C. So they will be fixed with a, but the balloon inflates due to the hydrogen gas. Take out the balloon with the gas from the flask carefully, tie it with a thread and leave. It will fly above. So guess why does it fly? Hydrogen gas has a less weight than air, so it flies as a high. Even though in some festivals the balloon seller selling the balloon will be filled with helium gas. So how the balloons will be flying in the sky? Similarly, these balloons are also they will be inflates in the air. So guess why does it fly? Because hydrogen gas has a less weight than the air, so it flies high. Pickles are not stored in aluminium or steel or copper vessel. Why? So pickle contains acids. These acids react with the metal containers and release some toxic substances. So we should store them in a metal containers. Generally, they are stored in a ceramic or glass containers which do not react. So that's why in your home, your mother pickles will be stored in the pingani vessels or glass vessels. So ceramic in our home they will be called as a pingani jadis, like that only. So you might have observed that the metal spoons would corrode when they are placed for a long time in the pickles. So reaction of bases with the metals. What will happen when metals are placed in the bases? So bases like sodium hydroxide react with the metals and release hydrogen gas. So let us do this activity. So activity 5. So repeat the lab activity by using sodium hydroxide instead of hydrochloric acid. Test the evolved gas with the burning stick. So which gas is evolved? So sodium hydroxide react with the metal, releases hydrogen gas. All bases do not react with the metals. So only some strong bases only react with the metals. Activity. First, to prepare a sodium hydroxide solution and then add few zinc metal pieces into the conical flask. Then observe what will happen, which gas will be produced. So now introduce a incense stick or burning matchstick into the mouth of the conical flask. The flame of the burning stick will put off with a pop sound. So this is the test for hydrogen gas. Acids with the eggshell. So activity 6. So take some crushed eggshells in a test tube or conical flask and pour some dilute sulfuric acid until the eggshell completely sink. So eggshells made up of calcium carbonate. Observe the changes that appear in the test tube. Do you observe any gas being released in this reaction? Bring a lightning matchstick near the mouth of the conical flask test tube. What happened? The gas that put off the lightning matchstick is a carbon dioxide. So it was released by the action of acid with calcium carbonate. So some bubbles will also coming from out of the conical flask or test tube. So neutralization reaction base. If you add an acid to a base, they neutralize each other. Reaction of an acid and base is called as a neutralization reaction. The substances formed in the neutralization reaction are called water and salt. That means the acids react with the bases. It is a neutralization reaction. So the substances formed in a neutralization reaction is a water and salt. So let us perform a neutralization reaction. For this activity, we need some liquids. See, activity 7. Take sodium hydroxide solution in a conical flask and observe its color. Now add 2 to 3 drops of phenolphthalein indicator to it. Now observe the color. It is a pink in color. Using a dropper and add dilute hydrochloric acid drop by drop to this solution and stir gently, continuing adding of an acid till the pink color disappears. So now the solution now is no more basic as it was neutralized by an acid. So whenever the color was disappeared, so it will be indicating a, so pink color is disappeared, so it is a neutralized by an acid. We know that the color of the phenolphthalein indicator is a pink in bases and colorless in acid solution and neutral substances. So can you guess the substances formed in a flask? So those are salt, that is sodium chloride, and water, because acids react with the bases to form a salt and water. The salt name is sodium chloride. So neutralization is a chemical reaction whereas acid react with the base and each other to form a salt and water. Try to separate them salt from the solution remaining in the flask by using crystallization method, which you have learnt in the lesson metals separating methods in your 6th class. So word equation of the neutralization reaction is hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide. Hydrochloric acid is an acid and sodium hydroxide is a base. So when acids react with a base, they will be formed as a salt and water. The salt is a sodium chloride and water. Now add 1 more drops of hydrochloric acid to the solution. The pink color disappears. It has again become acidic. We can conclude that acid reacts with the base to produce salt and water. The nature of the salt formed in a neutralization reaction is dependent on the strength of the chemicals used to form it. For example, sodium chloride, it is a table salt. It is a neutral substances, whereas a sodium bicarbonate is a basic substances. So the strength of the chemicals will be depending and form as a neutral solutions. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Please like my video, share my videos to your friends and subscribe my channel and click on the bell icon. Thank you.